you got a second? Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking.
Yo, to run up on a governor like that, yo.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking the same thing, but in these times, she got every right, because at the end of the day, he's a servant. Like, yo, you notice his security ain't like push her off?
Boy, that's the first person getting fired. That security guard.
No, the only question you got to ask is if that was me or you.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because I looked at him like, yo, first person to go is that security guard.
But you could kind of tell she wasn't a threat, though. So here is his first fib coming. He's pointing at the phone.
The president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now. And it's immediately.
Bruh.
Huh.
I want to be here when you make that call. Think about it.
Do you, like, okay, she's in the worst situation ever, probably in her life. That's a one-time an event going on out there. So I understand what she's going through. And yeah, she's asking for a lot of things that we know ain't gonna happen. But wouldn't you want to hear that conversation too if that was you?
Be honest. What is the president going to do to console you regardless? Even though you hear the president voice or what, you can still.
Well,
it's like
you know that, but to somebody else it may be comfort. We don't know.
Okay, I run it.
Yeah.
To get reimbursements, individual assistance, and to help you. I'm devastated for you. I'm so sorry, especially for your daughter. I have 4 kids. Losing the school.
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one and building another. Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
It's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
to
everything
fill the
I
hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
I understand.
But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not. I see do you know there's water dripping over there, Governor? There's water coming out there. You can use it.
I appreciate it. I'm going to make the call to address everything I can right now, including making sure people are safe.
I'd like to make sure you do. Can I have an opportunity to at least tell people you're doing what you're saying you're doing? Could somebody have a contact? Can I have your contact information?
Right there.
Go ahead.
Man, I'm on Newsom's side right here. The reality of, I know everybody is going through it, but I think that level of all these people running up on him and it ain't helping the situation.
No.
Because that's the same way this man could lose his life if he keeps his guard down, where let's say that was someone that didn't like him and they got that close to him. That's one of my biggest concern. Yeah. On the flip side, I understand her situation where she lost home and she said some people have 2 homes. Yo, you got to be in the same community. She said, yeah, some even have 2. But yo, I'm looking at it like I understand what she's going through. You know, I'm not trying to think anything that she's going through, but it's hard for her. And I'll be honest, that lady got some
kahunas.
Yeah, boy, that lady confident. She's confident in a lot of the questions that she asks because I didn't think they were fully appropriate, but I could see why she took the stance, because she wants answer and she wants to hold them accountable. So it worked, but yeah.
I mean, for me, I understand all her questions, but like you said, she was never supposed to be able to get that close. But you got to remember, with governors and mayors, they're a lot closer to the people than the president would be, or they're more. A lot of them are more into the areas. They know the people that there. A lot of them, because from what they say, these people that just lost all their homes are basically the ones that put them in that position. They were some of their biggest voters. You know, they paid a lot of taxes in California, a lot of taxes. So all that money you're paying out in taxes, what are you going to do for me? Because we need answers. And I don't blame her, but the real conversation now should be, where do we go from here? Because it's already happened. So now it should kind of be like, okay, we need to set up places so people can find out where they're going to be staying, you know, because nobody can return to these places.
Not right now, but they can return to their line and rebuild.
It's ash, and some of these places just ash. There's nothing there, you know. Just like you mentioned how she said earlier about the 2 homes. I was watching one earlier when the guy said, "Oh, a couple of friends came and helped me move my cars," you know.
Yeah,
and it was more than 2. You know what I mean? And and then it doesn't change anything, because at the end of the day, a lot of these people lost everything. Whatever they had, they lost. I saw one video today where a woman said, "We returned back home to nothing and realized the things we took was stupid." She said that the things we took and left with, now we look at it, doesn't make sense anymore, you know, like, so you kind of understand where they're coming from. Now, I thought the governor was pretty calm. He dealt with it good. He responded. He, you know, I mean, he understood that what she's going through. So on that aspect, I think he dealt with it well. Like he said, you know, they got to figure it out, what's going to happen, you know. It's and then, you know what, it was crazy. Like, okay, I don't know how long he's been how long has he been governor? Do you know?
Nah, I can't remember, but he been there for Trump presidency, so he's probably 6+.
Okay, because that's the thing. If these people are newly voted in, they just went in a system that was already there. But if they've been there for a while, you know, you got to look at it a certain way. And people got to remember, this is a one-time of a lifetime event. Like, this doesn't happen all the time. Every year they have those winds come through, but they're never that powerful. They're never that strong. They were talking hurricane force winds at 105 mile an hour. You know, normally it's 30, 40 mile an hour winds. It's real calm. And they got to look at that too. This may never happen again, but this is going to change California forever. Because a lot of these people ain't going to return.
Well, where they going to go? Where you going to go?
They're going to have to go to other states. They may end up selling their property because, dude, there's nothing there. Like okay, for instance, the governor's walking around trying to get cell service. You know why he can't get cell service? Because everything burnt to a crisp. There's no water. There's no heat. Everything that was built there is gone because nature took it back. Nature roasted the water lines, the gas lines, the light poles, the
infrastructure. The infrastructure is gone. Yeah,
everything is roasted. Now, if anybody know what happens after a fire, you let it sit for 3 years and then you plant. That's what happens on a farm. And basically you look at it and you try to build in these places, and basically nature taking itself back. This is natural nature. When it grows in like that, it's just, man, it's insane. But I feel for those people. I feel for her.
So the question is, like you said, where do these people go?
Well, they're going to be relocated. Some of them going to have to be in other states because there's already housing shortages.
Mm-hmm. So now, because that's the thing, these people relocating, Texas, you got Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, yo, it's like your whole life uprooted, done. Well, like yesterday, it's like done. It's like you're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, nope. No matter how much you click your feet together, you ain't in Kansas no more. For real.
You ain't in Kansas no more. You're in because guess what? You gotta, and look, these people don't have no jobs, no jobs to go to, whatever. Man, it's crazy.
Well, you think about it, like there's certain places where everything is just burnt to a crisp.
Yeah.
So everything's gone. The
So
Aldi's is gone. The whatever, everything burnt.
so now
All the
it's
way
like
to
this,
the
right?
ocean.
What I was going to say next was on that side was that's when you get to the point when your whole life is like uprooted and everything you work for is gone, and now you start to see what is the real meaning of life. Because you remember some people, you get up and you in the hustle bustle every day, every
Oh,
day,
yeah.
every day. It's like, yeah, I got to get this, pay the bills, Now the house, because one thing they did say is a lot of people are rich on paper with property. So your values in your home, you have that nice floor, you have the nice wall, you have the pictures,
Yep.
your aesthetic house, your pleasing house with the nice curb appeal, the nice plants, the brush, the nice pool and
True.
everything. So
That's
your
true.
worth is in your property which you live in. You're able to say, all right, if I do need to sell, the value of my property went up
Right.
and everything. So the value is wrapped up in the home, gone. Your value is gone. It's all gone.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that property value goes up, stabilize, or goes down?
For these properties, goes
Because
down.
why? Why would it?
Because main thing, no neighbors. Everyone is in the same displaced thing. It's like a war zone.
Oh, I know it's a war zone,
Yeah,
but
so it's like this.
okay.
What happens to a war zone? You
So
could have $1 million homes and a bomb hits it. What's the
right.
thing? It's a war zone.
So let me
So
ask you a
now,
question. Do you think, okay, for instance, some of those people are going to want to sell, right? Some of those may never return. So if they was to sell, you don't think people will buy those up because they know in 5-6 years it's eventually going to come back?
true, but let's go a little deeper, right? The bigger issue is the insurance companies out there in California and some of these states are
Yeah.
leaving. So you're going to be uninsured. So
Yeah.
there's no assurance that if a situation like this happens in the future, you're going to be covered. So it's like you're going to be out. So to follow up that would let's bring so I was listening to a rapper called DDG. He just found out recently today his house has no coverage for fire. He got $1 million, multi-million dollar home, and I guess he said he just found out talking to his people or that his $1 million home might burn down and he don't got no coverage on it. But these are some of the things like, hey, he gonna be all right. He gonna recover. But for the people that got $1 million home and they don't have that assurance, and it's because that's the thing. I remember I was going to do a video a couple months back I was reading up on that where the insurance company were leaving out of California. I had the videos queued up and everything, and I was reading it,
Mhm.
and I wanted to know why. You know what I'm saying? The wildfires, all that other stuff is like people being priced out of their homes. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Oh, it was exactly right around the time when they found out like Kamala Harris was going to run. That's when I started talking. I remember, but sidetrack. But coming back to it was they were showing the
She wanted to
valley.
bring more houses in too. Have nothing to do with it, but yeah.
Yeah, but they were showing the valley, the houses in the valleys, and some
Yeah.
are like they were showing like neighborhoods where people were being priced out of certain neighborhoods. These regular cheap homes, people were starting to get priced out and stuff like that. But that's when they were saying they were kind of getting back to the insurance company, people leaving because they can't afford insurance, or most of them are leaving out of California. So
So is it kind of the same thing that's going on in Florida with the hurricane? Like,
exactly, it's the same thing.
you know what I'm
It's the
saying? And
same
it's
thing.
like now it's kind of messed up because some of these people got dropped before that fire hit.
What do you mean?
Insurance.
Yeah.
There was a big insurance thing that went on. So that was one of the things that we're gonna have to look at and do another video on, like, because it's a telltale when the insurance companies start making
Moving.
moves.
Yeah.
So the fact that they started making moves tells me that I wouldn't say the regime, but they knew something that the people didn't know. They knew that coverages, because these companies just don't pull out coverages. There's usually steps that go
Yeah.
through, and
So
it
that's
goes through
research.
litigation and all this stuff. And
Yep,
when
because that's what they were wanting them, because it's like this. They gotta know. It's like
right,
this. They do their research. They pay people to evaluate and see. Because it's like this. They pay people to do that. They evaluate and assess. It's like this. All right. If they're looking at numbers that we're not looking at numbers,
right,
they're looking at the
exactly,
reservoir. How much water is in that reservoir? How much water, if this scenario was supposed to happen, do we have enough water to contain this fire? You hear what's the
exactly.
biggest thing? There's no water in the fire hydrant.
Yeah.
Why? For a state as California, the biggest state in America, is it the biggest state? No, Texas is, but one of the biggest states.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, how come the fire? What happened? What happened? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why is there no water in the fire hydrant? That's like like for us here in Connecticut, right? Summertime, we used to open the fire hydrant and the
So
cops.
let me ask you this: do you think some of that water, like, do you think any of those water lines got melted in the fire?
With that heat,
Because when I look at some of these cars, you can't even tell what type of car it was. The emblem, everything is gone on some of these cars. So
yeah, I see some of those too.
I'm like, if it's that much heat, and then that's what I said when you look at this stuff, this doesn't happen often. But when you look at what it did to the property, everything is gone. So why not believe some of these lines also melted? You know what I'm saying? Because this is heat that they haven't seen.
So,
You know?
but I think they knowing engineers and designers, there's probably a depth that they go to prevent fires.
But here's the thing that we always got to look at when we look at these situations. The same thing that happened in Flint, Michigan with the water, the same thing that happened in these places. And we believe that government would do what they're supposed to do, but a lot of times they cut corners and then they don't do it the way it was meant and supposed to be done. You know, we're going to start probably doing investigating, and they're going to find out down the road that, hey, a lot of these lines wasn't where they're supposed to be. So it melted. It shut water off in these places. Like, just like how the governor's there walking around trying to make a cell phone call. No, all the lines melted to crisp. There is no cell service. You know what I'm saying? And those are things I'm thinking about. And I'm wondering if everything was built the right way, you know?
And that was the thing. That's you see, like you said, I'm gonna start where you finish, where things build the right way. So in the islands, you notice there used to be a style of homes built on stilt. Everybody used to build their house on stilt. You know why?
Well, a couple of reasons, depending on where you are on the beach.
Exactly. They build their home on stilt because of water.
Yeah.
Right? They build their house on stilts because of water. So because in Black Rock, Black Rock used to flood. That I was talking to like my grandmother's sisters and them, and a certain area, you may not know the area, but they said that beach, Grafton Beach, used to flood. All that area used to flood. But living there my whole life, we never seen it flood. But they said, yeah, the water used to come all up on the bottom roads and fill it.
Mm-hmm.
I seen it once where it met the up to the mountain, but that was it. I never seen it come in far up. They said it used to come all the way up. And I was like, what? And we're talking about like 100, 200 meters in. You know what I'm saying? Meters or yards in. So I was like, because I used to ask him that question, like, why are the house on stilts if the water never comes beyond the bay? And they're like, no, when we were younger, it used to flood and the water used to come all the way inland. And that's kind of the situation. I was just prepping it for this. If we know California has fire, right? Why are they not designing the house out of certain material to protect these fires? Same thing like in Florida, you have areas where they build a house on stilts for the flooded season and
yeah.
the you know what I'm saying, for
And
those
they're
things.
hurricane built too, so they're a little
Exactly.
stronger for the
Because some of these houses and these homes were like board houses. As it lands on the roof, it catches a fire.
yeah.
So it was like, because they were, I even seen one, they were showing someone, they had a special roof, like a solar roof, and that house didn't burn down. All the
No.
houses around it, because guess what? It wasn't a roof like a tar roof that could catch on fire. It was like a solar roof.
Right.
It was no embers could kind of land on the top and burn, because that's how the house were catching on fire. It's
Yeah.
the embers
'Cause
go up in the air and land on roof.
Oh, those embers were huge, because we had, dude, there was 100-mile-an-hour winds. So you think about that. That fire could be here and it will blow all the way to where you at.
Yeah.
Yeah, them jumps are strong. But yeah, you're right.
They got to look into that. You know, I pray for them. I pray for a lot of those people out there, because that's one community. I think they have fire in different locations. We're just seeing snapshots of certain.
Oh yeah. Well, I did a breakdown on one. There was literally like basically, if the firefighters stayed where they were, they would have been better off. So it was almost like, okay, there's a fire over here, so they go out to get the fire. And as they attended that fire, the wind blows embers all over around, and all little fires just starting up. So now they got to rush back to this side. Now they got to, so they kind of got off track because they were chasing flames. And then what happened also that was big was because the winds were so high, they got up to 100-mile-an-hour winds. The planes weren't able to take off to put water on the fires that started burning. So normally, if we have 20, 30-mile-an-hour winds, what is it, Santa Anita winds, what they call them? Normally, they're like 20, 30 miles an hour. Planes could take off and drop water. So normally, they go out a lot faster and quicker. But because that first day the winds got up to 100 miles, the planes couldn't take off. So the fire was able to rage. And only the firefighters on the ground was able to work. There were no planes until that air died down a bit, you know. So once that happened, because this happens every year. They got 3 more. I think tomorrow the winds are going to pick up again. And then next week but this is a normal thing that happens every year. It's just that the winds got so intense this year, and the sparks sparked the right way. And hey, you know, there's also been a couple of people they caught starting fires as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But even like when the fires started, the power lines are sparking and starting new fires.
So what they did, so starting in the middle of it, they don't have power. They turn off all the power. So all of those communities that you see, they don't have any power.
Well, that's why they started shutting them off.
Yeah, because
power
due
lines
to that,
are sparking.
Yeah.
And
so once you don't have no power, no gas, they turn off all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, oh boy,
it's
a world difference. It's like it's the same America, different city, and
you know what's crazy? Like we dealing with snowstorm right now.
Yeah.
You know, you go down south somewhere and they got flooding. And they are in California, thirsty as hell. They ain't have water in 10 months.
No water. Yep.
It's crazy. 10 months. So everything out there is super dry and it's gonna get burnt.